Good evening. Welcome to the Speak Life Podcast. I am your host, Cherie C. Tonight, we'll have our first guest of the year. Her name is Denise Newton. She is an inspirational speaker, author, radio host, activist, and founder of Ariel Rising Ministries, which is a grassroots movement designed to empower women and girls around the globe to pursue their purpose and aspirations. Denise has worked in the public and private schools for over 20 years. She is an ambassador with the African Alive Education Foundation, a group whose mission includes providing food, clean water, supplies, and educational services and families to and around South Africa, most affected by the AIDS pandemic. Her personal motto is change is the only force powerful enough to break the backbone of inevitability. And this is who she is. She has several books, one of them, which is an anthology called Ariel Rising, which is to empower women of the 21st century. And this anthology has 50 women, 50 causes, and one voice. Now, without further ado, we're going to talk to Denise Newton. Okay, so without further ado, here is our special guest, Denise Newton. I call her Denise. Okay, y'all can't call her that. Hello, Denise. How are you?
I am doing well, my sister. It is such a pleasure to share this time with you, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, it's my pleasure because, I explained to our guests that you are an accomplished author, kind of a world traveler and all those good things. And I just want to make a point because I was looking at, I read your anthology, Ariel Rising. And do you know that, and I told you this before in a private conversation, that Ariel Rising was ahead of her time in terms, because now you look around and you see all of these anthologies and using their voice, and people were talking about using their voices. And I'm like, man, Denise wrote this book like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
And this is really interesting. And, and it's really profitable. So tell us what prompted you to start with that anthology, and then, let us know what other books that you written and working on.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that inspired me to do it is when I went to Africa back in 2011, and it was just life-changing for the things that I witnessed and experienced while I was there. But one of the things that I did see that impacted me so greatly was the power of women and the role of women, and how much women have to take on their shoulders each and every day. And they manage to still function. They have to. And I was in a very impoverished area of Africa, and in Zimbabwe, actually. And one day I was watching this lady. She walks out of the market, and she has a baby tied to her back. She had one in the front of her, one in the back of her. She had 2 children walking alongside of her. And then she had this container on top of her head. I don't know if she had liquid in it or what, but she was holding this jug on her head, and she was carrying bags. And I watched her until I couldn't see her anymore. And it just showed me the role of women in the world, that we have to do so many things.
Yes.
And so when I came back to the United States, I thought about some of the women in my own circle that had to overcome some tremendous odds to be where they are today. And I just felt that God impressed upon me to showcase these women. Now, when you're talking about these anthologies, a lot of people that are doing these anthologies today, the people that participate have to pay to be a part, or they have to at least help sell the books or buy the books or whatnot.
Right.
But when I decided to do mine, no one that was a part of that anthology had to do anything at all except give me their story.
Right.
I took that all upon myself because I wanted to make sure that their stories got out. And so, Ariel in the Hebrew means, it could be lion or lioness. And I see women as just that. Because that's something else. When I went over to Africa, I had a chance to interact with lions and to pet them and to walk with them.
Yes, I saw your pictures. Scary to me, but okay.
Favorite pictures of all times. It's definitely a favorite of mine. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I wasn't scared, because I was. But let me tell you a little quick thing about that is that when I finally got up the nerve to touch this animal, first of all, she was beautiful. And this is why I got the word, the name Ariel, because, again, Ariel means lion or lioness, but she was beautiful, her coat and everything. And then when I actually touched her, I could feel the brute strength underneath, how strong and muscular she was.
Right.
And then because we were in sub-Saharan Africa and it was so hot, she started rolling around in the mud, then that was the vulnerable part of her. And it just reminded me of the average woman. And so when I got back and I felt God just impressed upon me to showcase women in their everyday roles, and some women have had to overcome so much to do what they're doing today.
Right, so, right. They had to make...
And women are rising.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe strongly that this year right here, 2020...
Say it.
...is the year of the woman. It's the year of the woman, and the woman, not only any woman, Denise, but women with testimonies. Women who have been through things. This is the year that they are going to overcome by their testimony. Now. Yes.
Come on now.
Strongly.
Say that thing.
Strongly.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. This is one of the reasons why I'm hoping and praying that whoever from the Democratic side of this next election wins the Democratic nomination will choose a woman.
Yes, running mate. Right.
As VP.
Right.
We need to get more women in higher positions.
Right,
absolutely. If you turn this country over into the hands of women,
yes,
all of this madness would cease.
Yes.
It would cease.
Yes, if they had a say-so in something,
That's right.
If they had some kind of say-so in something, it would matter. It would matter so much. And the world has changed a whole lot, and we have to we can't look to the government.
That's right.
We can't look to, the things that were in place before. The safety nets are no longer there. People can't go to the government for food anymore. They can't go for, for medical care. All of these things are changing. So, and the way I look at it, when I think about it, I said, growing up, I hear the stories about entrepreneurship. Even in my own family, I've heard, stories of, my uncles and my father. My father at 12 years old worked for his uncles who had ice wagons and newspaper routes and things like that, and it was, no disrespect to anybody else, but these were all people of color who were the maids and those was self-employment. So, so you're right. So the way things are going, but, so let's talk more about you and what you're doing. Okay.
Okay.
So how is are you still hosting the radio show?
We're going to be starting up again. I was going to wait maybe once the primaries start, we're going to start our show back up, because one of the things that to me is extremely important in this next election cycle is getting information out there.
Right.
And, you know, and I've been off the radio for a while, and it's just been amazing in how people contacted me and saying, you know what, we need your voice. I followed you for several years. I always got good information from you. We need you to get back out there. And so this is what I'm working on now, to be able to do that. And just kind of give people real, not no opinionated dribble,
right,
but actual factual news, so that we can be completely informed as we go forward. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm working on also, you know, and my thing is always women and girls. That's my passion. Right. And I'm working on recording I'm recording some poetry that's set to music. Right. And it's very, very empowering. And so I'm working on that. So I got quite a few things that I'm doing, and I'm just letting God lead me in however He wants me to go, whatever voice He wants me to use, whatever He wants me to address. You know, I'm just telling Him, here am I, Lord, send me. So that's where I am. He's going to put a lot on my plate because I open myself up to that when I say,
yes.
You know? So I open myself up to that. So, and I believe He's going to build me. He's going to hold me to that. And I'm ready. I'm up for the challenge, though. Definitely.
Yes. That sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful, but that's the way it is. You know, that's the way it is. It's, you know, it's like that, you know.
It is. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we all were given at birth talents. Now, I say this all the time. Listen, whatever God gave you as a talent, no matter what it is, and no talent is too small or insignificant at all. If every one of us on this planet were using the talents that God gave to us, a lot of these things that we experience in the world could be addressed, because somebody got the answer to whatever's happening.
That's right.
But it's just too many of us, you know, these days we want the big stages, we want the big microphones, we want the big money. And if we're not getting those things, then we're not willing to share our talents. And I think, you know, that right there is very sad to me.
Now, I don't know about you, but I've been, you know, you've been watching the 2020 stuff, and, you know, I got, you know, I mean, online, and I have my own 2020 challenge as well going on. But I'm not going to be taxing people thousands of dollars to, you know, to make changes, because I would rather do it in a group and do it along with people, you know, and make changes also, because, I mean, I want to be the example.
That's
you know, but I see even celebrities right now have some stuff going on. One of the celebrities, I'm not going to mention her name, but she even has $1,000 year-long coaching and all. She's offering a lot, but I'm like, wow, you know. You know, that, you know, some of these things are a lot. People, you know, it's for a year, and I'm like, people need things that they can touch now. People need to be taught things and take off, you know, and take off. And, you know, and, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm looking around and I'm seeing things, and I'm seeing, you know, in one particular group, everybody's protecting the person that's the person that's leading them in the group, and she's very abusive to some people sometimes. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? You know, and you know, we need to be supportive of one another. I may be in your free group, and I might not have no money.
Come on, I was just about to say that.
You know, I might not have no money. You know, what is it that, you know, one of the groups that I belong to, the World Voice League, I love it there because they have a free group and they have a paid group. And they give a lot in the free group. And then sometimes they'll say, hey, anybody want a free call or free consultation? And they will talk to you live. Shout out to World Voice League. They will call you and talk to you and give you a free consultation. You know, they will work with you, ask you what you're working on, what you need help with, How can they help you? And promote you, because they're not about the money. I mean, they do have paid product now. They do offer coaching, and they offer so much.